Good evening, everyone. 'Tis the Drinker and MauLer. We're here.
Hello. Good evening indeed, or afternoon, or morning, or whatever.
Yeah, wherever you may be, whatever you may be doing. Hopefully,
Clearly,
it's
it's the
legal.
morning for you.
Yeah, of course. And well, we're here to take revenge for you guys sending us all these super chats the other night. How dare you? How dare you ask us
Yeah.
so many questions and be nice to us? We don't appreciate that kind of thing on open bar, so we're going to take revenge and we're going to
In
answer
order to
these
get
things.
revenge, we'll answer the questions. Just what they didn't want.
Nah, it's the last thing they'll be expecting, you see.
Mhm.
It's the genius of our plans. Well, anyway, I'm teed up and ready to go, so should we fire into this?
Yes.
All right, cool. So the first one here is from blah, 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 where is it? Cody Griffin, who says, also saw Extraction 2, highly enjoyable, mind-numbing, balls-deep action. That is all I ask for in a movie like that, and
I've
I very
seen
much
that now,
enjoyed
by
it.
the way.
Oh, what did you think?
I think the first one is stronger in terms of writing, but the second one's action is kind of, it just takes the cake, right? It's like, whoa, look at
Yeah.
it go. And yeah, you do have to be like, what the fuck at certain points, and be like, which makes
I
me
think
think the John Wick series will be the template for the Extraction series in terms of getting more and more absurd, which is unfortunate. I guess that's just the way it always goes, huh?
I think that's pretty much it. Like the point where he was on top of the train with a minigun firing at the
Yeah.
the chopper, and it's like it's firing back at him, and the rounds are just whizzing past him like half an inch from his face.
There's
It's like,
a
oh, okay, that's kind of stupid. Stop
there's
doing
a
that.
moment where like you see like six huge bullets just all fly by his arm, and you're like, sure, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
But it's such a shame because they have other fantastic moments. Like
yeah.
the general prison escape sequence is great. You know, not just the fight across the courtyard, but just like retreating from room to room and sealing doors behind them, and like it's just all one continuous tracking shot. It's fantastic to watch. Like it genuinely puts you right there amongst it. So, I like it.
Let's be
It's
honest. People are way more interested in Chris Hemsworth playing Tyler Rake than they are Thor.
Oh fuck yeah! I think he's a lot more interested in playing Tyler Rake than he is in playing Thor, and I don't blame him. Like he actually gets to play a real hero who's like tough and cool and kind of awesome.
Hmm.
And it's not just there to be a fucking clown, directed by a fucking clown. So I appreciate that, and yeah, man, I kind of mentioned this in my review. It feels like I don't know that this is a bit of a resurgence of action movies. We seem to have been getting quite a few of them recently, and they've been quite good. And I'm fully supportive of this. So I want to see more stuff like this, please. It's good fun, and it was done on like I don't know a quarter of the budget of something like The Flash. I know which movie I'd rather watch.
Yeah, for sure. Also, that's dropping off like crazy.
Oh, didn't it have like a 75% drop off this weekend?
Now people are wondering if it'll even be able to get past like 300 million.
That is horrific.
Yeah.
I mean, none of us thought it was going to succeed financially, but this is like next level
Some
bad.
people did. Some people thought it might hit a billion or whatever, and it's like, well,
God bless them.
I'll at
God
least
bless their
say
optimism.
I thought it would do better than this. I didn't think it was going to do good, but I thought it would do better than this.
I could have seen it getting to a solid 500 million, which isn't solid, but it's
I
something
know what
at
you mean.
least.
Yeah.
It mitigates the loss a little bit.
Yeah, like
This,
there was a big question of would it beat Ant-Man. It's like, but now it's like no, no,
yeah.
no, 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 it won't.
I mean, Christ only knows what Aquaman 2 and Blue Beetle are going to get. Blue Beetle, especially, that movie's going to
Yeah,
suffer
dude, and then
hard.
Marvels. This is a bad year for superheroes, I'm afraid. Even with Guardians and with Across the Spider-Verse. Was Puss in Boots this year or was that last year?
That was last year, yeah.
Not that that counts as a superhero necessarily, kind of, but yeah, this year more than any recently, it's just like the crashing and burning of superheroes.
Oh yeah, this I think is going to be remembered as the year the superhero movie kind of died.
Hmm.
Not to say that they'll never make any more. Clearly they will. It's just like this was the point where it became irrefutable. Like this genre is in its fat Elvis phase, as Razor Fist put it, and I think that's pretty apt. Like, it's become a joke now, and yeah, man. Like even across the Spider Verse, like it's certainly doing really well. Like obviously it's an animated movie, but I don't think it's doing like crazy numbers or anything. Let me just see.
It's not like it's gonna be able to save the genre or anything.
No, it's not going to get to like a billion or anything like that. Let's see where it's sitting right now. So it's currently at 560 million, which is a good number. Like, don't get me wrong,
Hmm.
that is really successful, and it deserves it. It's pretty good. I like it. But yeah, it's not going to change the general trend. And yeah, like you say, we've got nothing but flops lined up. And well, Indiana Jones 5 is probably going to be the biggest of the lot, especially because of the insane budget. Like I could see this being utter calamitous for Lucasfilm. But anyway, that's a topic for next open bar. Anyway, I'll move on. James Busher says, "Do you think the prison riot scene in Extraction 2 was inspired by the muddier prison scene in the Raid 2? And what do you think of the Raid movies?" It might have been actually. There's
Might have
elements of
been.
yeah. I like the Raid movies generally. I think they're good fun. And yeah,
Yeah.
like the fight choreography is just mind blowing. Also, I love Mad Dog. I think he's my favorite character.
You just be like, I always wonder about that. We talk about how like these multi-million, hundreds of $1 million projects. Like, why can't you just buy the people who are doing the fucking choreography in these really well-liked action films? Drama. You know what's crazy, Drinker? We could have been in a timeline where Extraction wasn't Extraction. It was just I hesitated. Let's just pretend Thor was played by someone else, and so Chris Hemsworth just plays a mutant, and he got into the military extraction shit, and he's just particularly strong and fast. And we get Extraction in the MCU because they expand, and that's the kind of expansion we get. We're getting movies that really have nothing to do with superheroes, but that's like our launching point. He talks about how he grew up and he was always faster, he's always strong. And then we get an actual action movie, and at the end they're like, "This is in the MCU, by the way." It's like, yeah, whatever. Like, I don't care. I just like the movie. Like they probably should have expanded that way because
Well,
it might have kept it alive.
Imagine if Black Widow had been done in the style of Extraction, like long take action sequences, like super brutal, gritty,
Yeah,
violent, action packed. Like, how cool would that have been? Like, they could have done something incredible with that, and like passed off the fact that it's Black Widow, so she's like a little bit superpowered because it is a Marvel movie, and she can do this stuff. Like, that could have been great fun, but nah, we got her smacking her head off a table to break her own nose. Anyway. Fucking that scene, man. I need to let it go. I need to let it go. Roger Rubio says, "Appreciate all the content that you all provide, helping me through this work shift today. Drinker, love your dog. I've got a Siberian Husky myself. A lot of work, but so worth it. Enjoy your favorite drink on me. Thanks." Thank you, man. And yeah, man, Siberian Huskies are fucking cool. Like, they're the Ferrari of the dog world. You made it when you got one of them. Nobody's gonna mess with you either. Greyhounds are a little bit different. Like, other dogs seem to really take against them for some reason. I think it's the way they carry themselves. Like, they kind of look like they're in a hunting posture all the time. And it's like, no, we're just trying to live. It's just how we're shaped. Other dogs, like, go mental when they see them. Analytical Scribe says, "Robert Kirkman has the Transformers and the G.I. Joe license, starting a new shared universe with his other of his own IPs. Void Rivals is the start of it with TF and Joe Comics in the fall. Good start for MauLer."
Mm? Oh,
Okay.
yeah, sure, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, I'd heard that they were trying to merge together Transformers and G.I. Joe. I mean, good luck, I guess. Ultra says, "Would you stay in the US for a week to do other streams?" Uh, I mean, like what, when I'm at Anime Matsuri? Like, I can't really afford to stay for a whole week in the States because, I have to make videos and stuff. But yeah, Quarterback Garrett invited me to do a podcast with him, and I would have loved to have gone. I just don't have the time to like travel from Houston to Dallas and then do that and then fly back and stuff. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but I'll do what I can while I'm there. I'll try and make the most of it. Icelandic Filipino says, "Open your Bud Light, guys, because it's live stream with my man crushes." Hey, we got an admirer. Nice.
Nice.
Geordie says, "I decided to go on a late showing of Spooderman, but went to the wrong theatre that had already finished their final showing. And since I was there, I figured I'd see Flash. I walked out like halfway through. I don't blame you."
Yeah.
T1S says, "Flash and Elemental bombed harder than the not terrorists in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They've got to do better. They've got to step up." They bombed hard indeed. Night King 1 says, "I saw your Extraction 2 review. I have concerns because the writing in that film is non-existent. I hope that the solution to bad writing isn't just none." I mean, yeah, the script's not exactly sophisticated, shall we say. But then I guess you don't go to watch a movie like that for the gripping character beats or anything. It's kind of just it's a
Yeah,
vehicle for the action.
I appreciated what they did in the same way for John Wick, right? Like they give you just enough. It's like what's going on? It's like it's a guy. His history is like he always solves problems. He's a fixer. He knows what he's doing in his life, and then his kid gets something that he can't solve, and he runs away from it. In the first film, of
Yes.
course. And then he has an opportunity now to save another kid, and during the mission, it becomes viable to simply either kill the kid or ditch him. And he's like, I refuse. He's going to do everything he can to get this kid where he needs to go. Like that for me is that's all I need. Just make sure the dialogue is nice and punchy, and understand the character, and then make it a 1 hour and 20-minute film. That's fine with me.
I think in the sequel as well, they gave the antagonist a little bit of characterization and backstory as well. Like, his relationship with his brother and the violent upbringing that they had. It's not a huge amount, but it's just something that fleshes him out a little bit and explains why he's so
Hmm.
why he's so bent on revenge. Viviana Rea says, Panel, have you seen the 80s movie My Dinner with Andre? Just two people talking, but it's really well done, and could you update us on your film? I haven't seen My Dinner with Andre, so no,
I have,
not too.
but that what they just said is all I'd have to say about it. Yeah, it's two guys having a chat, and they gradually discover more and more about each other as it goes on because they're like old friends.
Is the dialogue good?
I remember thinking so, but it's not. Maybe I would say it's one of those types of movies where you appreciate that it is strong, but it's just not quite your movie, not quite your thing. I imagine there's a couple people who feel that way, maybe, but maybe you'll love it, Drinker. Who knows?
I can handle talking, I don't mind.
Can
I
you
don't,
now?
I don't have to see tits and explosions every 30 seconds. I can do dialogue.
All right, God. How do you? I don't understand how you managed to put up with that, but fine.
As for my movie, yes, things are moving very quickly, and yeah, we should be shooting within like a month, apparently. So yeah, we're doing casting and stuff, and we've got some pretty cool stuff to share. It will be shared on the Kickstarter and with my patrons and stuff. So yeah, look for more updates shortly. Andrew McCarthy says, "Cheers! In the Superman 78, the 3-hour cut, Indians get back their water, but when Superman turns back time, the dam closes up and the Indians lose the water. I don't understand why they would make this choice." What?
What?
I don't think I've ever seen the extended cut of Superman 78, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm pretty sure dam breaking is pretty disastrous for most people. So yeah, probably the greater good would be to stop the dam from breaking and save us from
Yeah, not to
a
mention
disaster.
the beavers who worked so hard to put that dam in place.
I know it takes time. It's a real investment. What are you going to do? Take it all away from them?
Yeah.
Matt G says, afternoon all, been recovering from hernia surgery and I've had some time to watch some shows and movies. So far, Succession has been fantastic and I'm looking forward to Extraction 2. Anyway, hail panel and chat. Cheers from Pennsylvania. Nice one. Thank you. And I hope your surgery went well, man.
Yeah.
You have a good recovery. And yeah, Succession, I've been watching some of it so far and it's been pretty good. I love how they make all of the characters unlikable assholes, so I don't really want any of them to succeed, but yeah, it's interesting. Grand Dark Fang says, a black Star Wars fan, Jedi Brooks is just like me. Thank you, Drinker, for finally representing me. Believe it or not, yes, people from every race and gender and ethnicity and everything can like Star Wars. That's the weird thing. And we don't
pretty
even have to
neat.
make a big deal out of it. It's just, yeah, you like it or you don't, I suppose. Juan Garcia says, cheers, amigos. Thoughts on Mad Men and The Expanse? So, I
I've
liked
not
Mad Men.
seen, not really seen either fully.
I liked Mad Men initially. I sort of tailed off towards the end. It was starting to get a bit repetitive, but yeah, Don Draper is a pretty fascinating character, and yeah, it's just such a well described world, that time in the 1960s when things were changing quite rapidly, and like the thought process that goes into these advertising campaigns and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And The Expanse, yeah, I really liked it overall. Nice bit of fairly grounded and believable sci-fi. For the most part, anyway, and yeah, it actually handles the physics of space travel pretty well. So yeah, I liked it. General Bounce says, I want Disney to do an all-female remake of The Lawnmower Man called The Dishwasher Woman that could actually be a feminist classic. Do it, you cowards. Derek says, I just finished watching Reacher. How did a show with such an awesome male hero manage to slip through Jennifer Salke's net? I genuinely don't know, because it's everything that modern Hollywood despises. Like a total masculine, emotionally guarded, physically huge, powerful and dangerous male hero who doesn't take shit from anyone. So, yeah, I don't know how they got away with that, but I'm glad they did, because I think Reacher's really good. And I think it's Alan Richardson, his name, who plays him. I think he's gonna do some good things as an action star. I want to see him in the next Extraction movie fighting alongside Chris Hemsworth. It'd be pretty awesome. Anyway, Vespa Guy says, did you see Applebee's is giving away tickets to Indiana Jones? 35 spent gets you one ticket and $70 for two. They are trying to fill those seats. What? So if you spend $35, you get one ticket, and you spend 70, you get two. Okay.
All right.
Blunt Objection says, for Indy 5, I wonder if Harrison Ford asked Mark Hamill for any pointers on how to turn a beloved hero into a depressed bum that just wants to die.
Why would he need Mark Hamill's advice? They already did that in Force Awakens for Han Solo.
Yeah.
So
You might say he paved the way, like maybe Mark learned from him.
He broke the glass ceiling.
Yeah. Matt G says, also back out in the garage watching you guys on the big screen. Love watching Open Bar live. Well, check you out, Mr. Fancy Pants, with a TV in your garage.
Yeah.
The only thing I've got there is dead bodies waiting to be buried. Oh, shit. I'm going to have to edit that a bit out later. But anyway.
Stinky at this point.
Yeah, I go through a lot of air freshener. Sean Spencer says, thoughts on great shows like SG-1? Well, I really like them. They're good. Stargate SG-1 was great back in the day. I don't think you watched it, did you, MauLer?
No.
Yeah, we're all into your Buffy, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kicking it. I was kicking it with the proper cool kids watching Stargate SG-1.
Lame.
But
do they even have like swords in that or anything?
They've got staffs that shoot laser beams out of the end of them.
It sounds awful. I love it.
They have lots of guns as well, which is nice. T1S says, hello, Gary, can't wait for Avengers, The Trial of Kang. Tell Frank Gore I said hi. Okay. Yeah, apparently he's got some evidence that proves he's innocent or something, so who knows? Maybe Jonathan Majors will get resurrected. Stranger things have happened. Macrodo says, just disassociate Marvel from Disney and start over. Well, if only it was that easy, but I think the rot has spread too deep at this point. We're going to have to amputate Marvel's head. That's the only way to help it. Andrew McCarthy says, I'm on a Superman high, so thoughts on Lois and Clark. Is that the new one?
That's the currently running show, isn't it? It's the only one that survived the culling.
I think people have spoken quite highly of it. I think even Az quite liked it, but I never watched it myself. I'm just
neither have I.
A bit burned out on that stuff. Nathan Cassidy says, one factor that people don't consider with the box office is the cut the theaters take, which averages 50% of the income right now. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how people still don't understand the economics of this stuff. Like, you know, when you've got like a $250 million movie and it's like it makes $260 million at the box office, and they're like, see, it turned a profit. It's like, no, that's not how the accounting works on this one. Like, how do you think the theaters get paid?
Budgets have gotten absolutely ridiculous. Like, going over 200 million is fucking insane, to be honest with you.
If it's a superhero movie at this point, it absolutely is. You're not going to make that back. This is why we're saying this on the last open bar. Like, I want to see the mid-budget movie return. Like, 40, 50 million. It's a solid budget. You can do quite a lot with that if you've got a talented crew behind you. And you can experiment a little bit, and you don't have to make crazy amounts of money at the box office to turn a profit then. Do more of that. It might even force the writers to be a little bit more creative. Superfly says, what's up? I watched that movie Champions with Woody Harrelson. 7 out of 10. Drinker, you should watch all the movies and all the TV shows ever made. And MauLer should EFAP all the movies and shows ever made. Of course we should, yeah. I don't know why we haven't, actually. Yeah. I said that to you, actually, and you were like, nah. And I was like, why? And you're
EFAPing
like,
all movies?
Yeah.
I mean, I got a few Mondays free, I guess.
Yeah. All you need is like 700 hours in every day, and you'll be grand. You'll be just fine. Dimitri Ross says, Drinker, first ever super chat. Watching all the controversy over Rings of Power made me curious enough to watch the Peter Jackson movies. Top tier. Good. Well, I mean, something good came out of Rings of Power in that case.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you liked them. I'd be quite worried if you didn't. D Breezy says, spoiler alert, any significance to Ryan Drake's mum being executed in Wales? MauLer, your whereabouts at the time? Yeah,
Oh,
MauLer, what were
I
you
was
up
at
to?
the store, getting cigarettes or whatever people buy these days.
Yeah, part of the books are actually set in Wales. It's like, I had to pick the most fucking remote place I could think of, and that was it. So,
Nobody lives there.
no, you can get away with anything in Wales, trust me. Paul Rogers gave me a super sticker, so thank you. Matt G says the CGI in the Flash looks terrible. Yes, you're right, it does.
True.
Mr. Lucas says 9 films in 2019 made over $1 billion. Jesus,
Wow.
that was us talking about the golden age of cinema. It really was. Northern English Bastard says indie reviews are done. Now I'm off to the pub. Awesome, good choice. Hope you enjoyed. Dimitri Ross says, just the other day I watched that Iron Man compared to Ironheart video from Jedi and I thought, I bet he'd be good to have on open bar or on EFAP. Well, there you go, we brought him in.
Got it.
Yeah, I mean, that video blew up for him, man. It was like my Captain Marvel one back in the day. I think that'll be the making of his channel, really. And it's good. It's good, well thought out stuff. So, yeah. Happily have him back on open bar and I hope he goes on to great things.
Mm-hmm.
Ceteris Pyrubus says, I'm astounded at how often I end a movie and think, there were 500 things I can see. What were you going for, but you didn't take a second to look at? So I'll try that again. There were 500 things I can see what you were going for, but you didn't take a second look at. Okay.
All right.
Mate says, Drinker, read the Silmarillion. Gary, back me up here. The Silmarillion is not like a normal novel, though. It's like a compendium of Middle-earth lore. It's not exactly a page-turner, and I think most people probably acknowledge that. So, yeah, it's just like, I could just as easily read a Wikipedia article or something. It's like, yeah, I don't know if I would get that much enjoyment out of it. And this is coming from a guy who's read the actual Lord of the Rings, like, about 7 or 8 times in my life, so, yeah, it's just the way it is, I suppose. Timothy Torrigian says, Frank Gore recommended The Flash after he saw it early. Was he shilling, or does he just have bad taste? Well,
Wow. Why are those the two options? Why could it be that he just liked it?
maybe he came out of it on a bit of a high. Maybe he really enjoyed the Keaton
It's the
parts
Keaton
of it.
Batman. We all know it. I think that wasn't the first thing I said. Like when I was trying to talk about it for the first time, I was like, gotta make sure I'm careful because Keaton Batman can trick me.
Yep. Don't be lured in by the temptress that is Michael Keaton. Matt G says also
So
just yeah, he is kind of sexy actually. Give it to him for a 70-year-old man. Matt G says also watched the Super Mario Brothers movie while I've been off and had a smile on my face the whole time. Just good fun. Pretty much was, yeah. Just easy going stuff. Benjamin Polge says, regarding Westerns, especially for MauLer, I think you haven't given the pre-Eastwood ones a proper go. You do have to drop our modern cynicism, true, but watch The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance or The Shootist, great deconstructions in my opinion. Hey, I've never shot on Westerns before then. Like, what are you talking about?
I didn't show him Westerns either. Like, I think this is what I preferred Unforgiven to Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, right? That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're into the 60s and 70s, you're into the era of the spaghetti western. But like, yeah, you had more earnest kind of westerns before that, and yeah, The Shootist is fantastic. This is great, like, John Wayne's final movie.
Have you seen The Wild Bunch?
Yes, although it was a very long time ago. I remember there being loads of squibs and blood,
Yeah.
like packs and stuff. It was a gory one, you know.
Another solid western. 69, I think that was made. It's fucking old.
Yeah, and of course, there's obviously the Magnificent Seven and stuff, just like absolute classics of the genre. But yeah,
not as good as the remake, right?
Yeah, of course not. No, nothing's as good as that.
But
I have seen the remake. It's, you know, weirdly, it's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not going to piss you off, I don't think.
It's not bad.
It's okay. Hikira says, never heard of Jedi Brooks, but he seems like a cool dude. I'll check out his channel after the stream. Nice.
Yeah.
Kyle Inc. says, I would love to see Henry Cavill and Chris Hemsworth be in the next Extraction movie. Can we just get like all the muscly guys in Hollywood and just put them in a movie together?
So they're clearly gonna have to rethink everything they're doing with Extraction in total now because Idris Elba popping up, he's probably gonna have a more significant role in the third movie. And the fact that he said like, "I work for a guy who's nuts," that to me was them being like, "All right, we don't know who it is yet, but we might grab
Yeah.
just some famous legacy actor or someone who can play a psycho."
Make
You
it
know,
Michael Keaton. You can be like, let's
that's the
get
thing.
nuts.
It's gonna be like John Wick. That's what John Wick is now. It just has loads of guest stars in action movie. That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Telperian says, what do you think of the Netflix series The Spy from 2019? I was impressed with Sacha Baron Cohen's acting. I wonder what Bohemian Rhapsody would have been like if he had played Freddie and they had followed his vision. Ooh, good question. I don't know what his vision actually was for that. He's probably too old to have played Freddie at that point, though, because they had to go through like his whole life. And Remy Malek was really fucking good in it. I liked him.
I thought so, yeah.
Derek says Chris Gore was raving about Wonder Woman and Supergirl ass shots, but either I missed them or they were split seconds long. This movie disappointed on so many levels. This is what I wonder, right? You know, Chris Gore obviously gets to go and see like the screeners for fans and stuff like before the main release, and I wonder if they're slightly different.
Yeah,
They like
maybe.
trim little bits out here and there because yeah, I was aware of his ass shot comments, right, and I was looking for it because when Gal Gadot shows up, you look for an ass shot, and there wasn't one. And I thought, Chris, you son of a bitch, you lied to me. Then maybe he
Broke
didn't.
all of the trust.
Yeah. Because it makes me wonder as well, like, if his description of Indiana Jones is going to be accurate, or if they're going to tweak little things in that as well for the main
Well,
release.
have you heard that there are several different Across the Spider-Verse versions in cinemas?
Yeah, I heard about that.
That started out, from what I've seen on Twitter, as like a really fun Easter eggy thing, and it's starting to turn into a. So I didn't get to see this, which seemed pretty cool, and people are sharing the pirated versions, of course, and showing
Yeah.
like scenes that are different and everything. And people are starting to now think like, maybe I don't like the fact that they're playing different versions. It's like, yeah, maybe.
I mean, yeah, you kind of want, because I presume the differences aren't such that, like, it changes the narrative or anything. It's just
I
going to
don't
be,
think
like,
so.
slightly
Yeah.
tweaked scenes or whatever. But yeah, it's like, just give us the definitive version of the movie. Otherwise, how are we going to, like, have a common frame of reference?
Well, people are curious, like, what's going to be on the Blu-ray or whatever.
Yeah, all the different versions. Noir says, my biggest problem with Fat Thor is the movie going, Fat Thor, and not going into why he became fat. I mean, it does kind of explain why he became fat. He's comfort eating because he's depressed, but it's not worth ruining his character for like a fucking tiny little joke like that.
Well, the majority of the film is fat jokes, and he's falling asleep, and he's like unhygienic, and oh look, he's like the dude now. Like,
Yeah.
like that's where they grab most of their content from it, and it's like, man, there was shit tons for us to do with him and with Hulk. We also skipped Hulk's whole development, by the way. Like, that's another thing that happened.
Hulk is fucked as a character. Now he's just like goofy Professor Hulk, and he's a complete pussy.
At least we got
'Cause,
his son. That's gonna be great.
Yeah, what a way to introduce him as well in She-Hulk of all things.
Ugh.
Fuck that franchise. F6 Blue says, the more I contemplate Infinity War, the more I dislike it. Ooh, interesting take.
I feel that
Nick
way about
Sav-
Endgame, but Infinity War, there's still plenty of good stuff in there.
Oh, yeah. Nick Savage says, Wonder Woman 1984, whatever year that was. Mark Daly says, Critical Doggo making the most insightful commentary on the state of modern cinema. Yeah, I think he gave the best input from all of us, really, I would say.
Might be having him back again, actually. From what
I love the point where he just said, fuck this, and just got up and left his dog bed.
Was that, were we talking about Secret Invasion? I can't remember what the topic was, but he got very upset about it.
I think it was Indy. I think it was Indiana Jones. He got
makes
up
a lot
and
of
just
sense.
left. I had to like reposition the camera and everything. All right, next one is Philip Munger, who says thoughts on HBO's Bill Hader's Barry. In my opinion, one of the best shows ever. I think you've seen it, and I haven't.
So the first two seasons, I thought they did not strike a good balance between drama and comedy, and that one of them ruined the other, so to speak. That show likes to have very dramatic moments, and in isolation, I think some of them are so good. I was showing people them out of context to show off how fucking well they're executed, but surrounded by way too many jokes, and it really saps my investment in dramatic scenes.
Right.
Like, however, people love it, so maybe I'm just a grumpy old man.
Well, we know that, but well, you're a grumpy young man at this point, but yeah, you'll get
Same
there.
thing. Yeah, it's grumpy as a
Yeah.
mindset. Yeah, it's fine. Old as a mindset.
Being grumpy ages you. The real God of Rage says, "Didn't the Skrulls leave with Danvers at the end of her movie? Why in the hell did they come back?" The real question you should be asking is like, who the fuck even cares? The writers probably don't.
No, the writers probably haven't seen Captain Marvel, but from what we've gathered so far, it's just that they were waiting for Fury to get them at home and he failed.
Of
And
course
I
they
think as
do.
the episodes go on, we're going to find out why, but I don't think they're going to give us anything good because obviously their goal, as stated in the episode by 3 different characters, I think, is Fury, you're a changed man. You're not ready for this world anymore. You lost your fire because of what happened with the blip, and it's going to be his fault now that Hill died. He's gonna see that as like he's the reason it happened, sort of thing. And I'm just you know what we're getting. It's going to be a whole season of him trying to get his groove back or some shit.
I'm just going on record now. I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to have to rely on you guys to fill me in
I
on what
am. I'll
happens to
let
this
you know what
because
happens.
I just like with Hawkeye and like with Ms. Marvel, I don't give a fuck about this show, and I'm not going to waste my time on it. But yeah, good luck with you guys. I hope you get something good out of it at least.
Don't know about that,
Grand
but yeah.
Yeah. Istari Azul says, "I have no doubt that an AI could generate MCU better than these awful writer rooms, especially if based on successful comics and free of messaging. They probably could, yeah. That's the scary thing. That's why, well, if the writers want to strike and we can replace them with AI, go for it." Grand Darkfang says, "Nick Fury's the kind of guy that if he died in a show like DBZ, he'd be in the afterlife with a halo over his head, tapping his foot and waiting for when he's going to get back to the world of the living." Yeah, just
Yeah.
have another go. Barton Bella says, "Fury would have been more upset about losing Stark and Father and Natasha than he would have been about being blipped. Stark and Cap would never be mediocre to him."
It's
Yes.
this is what I mean. I think they've once again misunderstood the character completely. Fury. I hate to say this, it sounds so cliche. He does not fear death, and I don't mean that in some kind of spiritual way. I mean like he's got no time to worry about him dying. He's got to do stuff. He's got to type things on a computer, press buttons, shoot guns. There's no like, oh dear, I might die here. This could be awful. He's just like, no, get the next thing done, next thing done, next thing done. And there's going to be an angle that Stark dying would make him really upset, not just because he liked Tony as a person, but because he's like, fuck, we just lost Iron Man. Shit.
Yeah, he's an asset. You know,
Yeah.
he's a chess player, and like these people are chess pieces to him. And
Mm-hmm.
each time you lose one, it's an offensive weapon that you've lost. And so yeah, he thinks in grand scales, and like a man like that doesn't fear personal risk. This is yeah,
And if
this
you
is
want
what
to
I think
do
they've.
a storyline where he like loses a lot of his sort of strength, you're gonna have to really hardcore justify. This is the kind of thing that's really hard to do because it's like a core trait. But if you had it so that he like gathered a whole team, and for some reason he was in the same room as someone like Thanos, who like annihilates all of his heroes in front of him, I could see that having an effect on him mentally. But I still don't think that would be enough to stop him. I don't think anything stops Fury.
No,
It's like his whole thing is that he's got to be the guy to keep everyone going.
it's just another like.
He fucking
Well, it's
remember what he was like when he met Loki, a god who was killing and mind controlling his men in front of him? He was like fucking giving him bullshit. Like he was
yeah,
lying to him to hopefully crash the building around him. Killing himself, by the way. Fury was going to crash a building on himself to try and kill Loki to prevent him from getting the Tesseract.
yep.
Fury doesn't go,
That's
oh no, if I die though, oh.
this is the thing. Like they can't have a strong, capable male character like that anymore. He has to be deconstructed. Of course he does. That's all they can think to do with any character like that.
I know that when they're in the writing room and they're like, if Fury's in the whole season, we got to give him an arc. What should it be? And then they like go for the fucking least creative, boring ass thing ever. He got blipped, so now he's scared about dying or something, or he's weaker. It's just like,
And
why?
yeah, and the classic. He's old now, and so he's more
Yeah,
cautious, and he's losing his mojo. He's not as sharp as he used to be. Like, oh, fuck off! Like, it's
it's
been done a million times now.
for me. It's just like you can't think of any other journeys to put a man on that's like that. It reminds me of that whole thing when it's like once the character has had an arc, they're done. Like the characters from the OT of Star Wars, they've already had their arcs. They're over. Other than making them old and shit, it's like fuck me, guys. There's plenty of things for them to still understand and learn.
Yeah.
But they also
Uh,
get to be competent while doing it. It's okay.
OMG Puppies says, "Has anyone seen A Space Above and Beyond? Very based series from 1995 about space marines." I haven't. I'm afraid I haven't seen that one.
No.
Mr. Mitsaplik says, "Hey Drinker, a huge fan of the whole crew. Which actor do you prefer, Brad Pitt or Leonardo DiCaprio? I prefer Brad from Fight Club 7 and Inglourious Basterds. He's transcendentally good. Top 5 actor ever." Yeah, if I had to pick between the two, I'd probably go for Brad over
I prefer
Leonardo.
Brad Pitt, yeah.
I just like him more. I think he's cooler. Fresher Luke says, "Why the Flash hate? I really enjoyed watching it, and I'm a big DC fan." Well, for all the reasons that we spent about 3 hours discussing.
It's a fucking mess of a film, that's why.
I mean, if you liked it, great. I'm not going to take that away from you.
Absolutely.
Magnum Norse says, "You need to destroy the nuclear family in order to build the state. Biden even said it. Your children don't belong to you." Okay. I'm not American, so it doesn't bother me. Phoebe Waller-Habsburg says, "Anyways, my darling, if you ever tire of Tatiana, oh yeah." She gives amazing jaw, apparently. Yeah. Thank you, Phoebe Waller-Habsburg jaw.
Just what I'm looking for in a woman.
The Inner Light says, "Hey Drinker, love your videos. How are the chances of you collaborating with Rob Ager one of these days? Maybe talk about The Shining or The Thing. Do it now." I mean, yeah, I'm not averse to any of that, really.
Ooh.
Weeb Addict says, "Hey Drinker, I just want to say hi, and your dog has the same name as my old dog. He was a German Shepherd. Love your pets, everyone. Fuck dog racing." Nice one, man. Thank you. And yeah, Slange to your dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got two critical doggos, Smokey and Lara, so they take turns playing the role. It depends which one's available. Miss Maria says, "July, if Isom ever became a movie, and do you want live action or animated, and who would you have as a director?" It's a tricky one since he's not here to answer it, but I feel like he could direct it, probably.
Do it.
Yeah, do it. That'd be quite cool to see it get to that stage, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the way it's going, it probably will, because it's been that successful. Matt G says, "Loving Jedi Brooks along with his cat. Please have him back on." Well, we probably will. He's been great to have, so yeah, he's a good guest. Macrodose says, "Avatar on PC, PS5, and Xbox now." Okay. Is that a
Yeah.
game?
I don't know. I think there is. Yeah, I think there's a game.
All right. Vimorian says, "Legendary panel plus critical doggo tonight. Love it." Nice. Well, we aim to please.
Mm-hmm.
Timmy04 says, "Big question. How old were you when you had your first kiss?" Oh, I would have been either 12 or 13.
Yeah, I think it's the same. I can't remember which year I was in,
I
but
think it might have been 12, because it's right at the end of primary school, and it got to that point where everyone was starting to hook up, and it was almost like prearranged when we were doing it. It's weird. But yeah, I think it was around a bit then. I don't think I did a very good job, but what can you say? Mark of Reality says, "Listen to the guy who made $1 million last week, not Disney or Warner Brothers." Yeah, that's true. Eric's the guy to listen to when it comes to comics. UCLA Jedi Knight says, "Gary, please ask these black men if they are offended by the mediocre white writers at Disney putting words in the mouth of Fury and War Machine." So is this like, did he call Cap mediocre? Is that the thing?
I can't remember. What was this referring to again? Whose quote was this? Was it an article or was
Uh,
it someone else?
it says that, ask these guys if they're offended by the mediocre white writers at Disney putting words in the mouth of Fury and War Machine.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly. I'm not sure if this is because it was something that's going to happen in episode 2. Because I remember Chris Gore talking about some of the cringy quotes from both episodes. But there's so much to remember. I haven't done my notes for it yet because we're still like 5 weeks out from the end of that show. But I probably will. But yes,
Okay.
they're probably talking about something horrible in the show.
T1S says, "Hey Mauler, will there ever be an EFAP for Interstellar? The movie's overrated as fuck, and I'd love to see you massives tear it apart."
It wouldn't be an EFAB. It would be like a full-on video. I've been
Okay.
planning to make that one forever. I hate that movie.
Yeah, I'm with you. Maxwell JW says, "Hey Drinker, I liked your good female characters video that you uploaded. I recommend you check out Nausicaa Valley of the Wind to see another good example of a good female character." Yes, I've seen that movie many times, or seen it kind of brought to me many times. I haven't got a chance to watch it yet, but it looks good. Magnum Norse says, "Pedro Pascal will become Doctor Doom. We need more representation in evil bad guys." Oh, Pedro Pascal. He's a funny one, right? Because he is actually a pretty good actor. but he just seems like a bit of a prick in real life. I don't know. Tim Perk says Lord of the Rings was a masterpiece with only 3 writers and source material. Euler's Workshop says, been reading old Star Wars Insiders. Issue 39 has fan letters expressing how mad they were about spoilery BTS photos from issue 38 for episode 1 because they didn't want it ruined ahead of release. I missed those innocent times. Yep. That was a good time, I guess. Alexander says, hey MauLer, Charles Dance was in The Last Action Hero. Sleep tight.
He was the bad guy.
Yeah. Benedict. He was good, actually. I liked him.
He's good in everything.
Yes, yeah. That guy in the sky says, would a new Batman movie with Keaton alone work in this day and age? Shout out County Cork, Ireland. Shout out to Ireland! Woo! Yeah, I think it could, actually. If you did a Batman 3, just going from the...
certainly couldn't guarantee success or anything to any producer, but I mean, it's a hell of a lot less risky than Blue Beetle, Aquaman 2, or The Flash.
Yep.
And yeah, if you, as Drink was saying, make it the third and final, Alfred died, like, obviously Michael Goaz actually died, and then you'd be like, you talk about how he's coming to the end of his road, probably, because he is 68, 70, something like that.
I think he's 70 now, yeah.
So,
I mean, he's still, like, physically, he seems pretty spry still, but...
yeah, and we'd be able to make some action scenes. But of course, I'd be tempted to do a third film where he's winding down and Gotham is relatively coming to a better place. And then maybe the Batman Beyond gets kicked in a fourth one if the third one does well.
Yeah, they had the comic book of, like, The Dark Knight Returns where he's, like, old and kind of out of shape, but he's got to pull himself together for, like, a return. And it's like, yeah, you could do a lot with that, for sure. Jano says, what do you all think about American game devs making their female characters ugly as sin, but Japanese games have normal or even beautiful designs? That just makes me want to buy Japanese games even more, I would say. I'm currently playing...
or even beautiful.
Yeah, they're just the same. I'm currently playing through Final Fantasy 16, actually. I was just streaming that earlier today, and yeah, the characters look great. Like, they're relatively grounded. They look relatively like real people. They're just beautiful. It's funny, though, because, like, they've got the voice actor, the guy who played Finchy in The Office. Yeah. It's him. But he's got, like, the proper, like, Yorkshire accent. And it doesn't match up with his character's appearance in the slightest, because he's, like, this sort of chiseled, square-jawed, like, good-looking, roguish type character. And it's just, like, it's got the voice of, a 55-year-old man from Yorkshire. It's just so weird. But it's a good game. I liked it so far. Connor Azelben says, MauLer, I've been following your Golem playthrough. I would recommend Shadow of War as an antidote. Not lore accurate, but interactions with the orcs are so much fun. The playthrough is different. Love all of your work.
Yeah, well, thank you. And I've heard that that game's actually pretty solid. I never got into it. I never quite had a chance, but Lord of the Rings fans seem happy with it.
Yeah. Jack White says, I have a webcomic that I do in my free time, and it's not great, but seeing the tripe that gets made by Hollywood gives me a boost in confidence. Nice, man, and best of luck with that. Parker Smith said, hey boys, in my opinion, Avatar has the appeal of mass audiences. Not as popular in the internet circles, simply story, simple characters, fantastic visuals, no message. Older crowds seem to love it, and my parents do. I mean, that could be it, maybe. Just total disposable entertainment, I guess. Magnum Norse says, Pugh, I guess that's Florence Pugh, is 2/3 sexy, but she ain't no Selma Hayek. 2/3 sexy.
How many people is Selma Hayek?
I know. God took his time on that one. Like, yeah, he did a good job. Her and Gal Gadot, if they could be in a movie together, I'd be a happy man. But yeah, I'm still not quite getting it with Florence Pugh. Lauren says, I found your channel with your take on Stranger Things Season 3. I swear I was the only one on Earth who thought that Robin was insufferable and annoying. Well, now you know that you're not. She was. But they made her better. And...
I hated, like, the whole season.
Yeah. Lester... Oh, sorry.
Were you about to say, is she better in Season 4? Or?
Yeah, she is. Yeah. Better. Not amazing, but... You know.
Season 4 is just better, but still not amazing.
Yeah. Lester Caraccia says, great open bar session. Jedi Brooks, I've been a fan since day one. Awesome to see you here. Your last video on Iron Man had me rolling. Keep up the great vids. Nice. It's good to see him getting the recognition.
Yeah.
Phil Swift says, it's always weird going to see a movie and enjoying genuinely only to come back to see everyone thinks the movie sucks and I'm just like, am I stupid? I mean, look, we can't control what you like on an emotional level. It's just like if you take the time to, I guess, step back and look at the elements that make up this film, you might realize that it's
I'm
not
totally
well put
like
together.
I'm totally fine with someone liking it. That's like the fun sort of split, right? We can all recognize plot elements or bad CG or blah 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 and agree on it. But like, if you just enjoyed the experience anyway, it's like, yeah, no problem.
Hmm.
That's just how it works. It would be boring if it worked any other way.
Yeah. Lupu Christie says, Drinker, next week it's my birthday. It would be a great gift if you would finally review the Castlevania series. Also, I'm Romanian and I would love to hear you say Targovist. Hopefully I said that right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Castlevania series. What do you mean? The games? The anime? What? Like, I don't think I could do that in time for your birthday because I'd have to watch the entire series and then do my review. But I've heard good things about the series. It's meant to be quite good. Excuse me. OMG Puppies says, at 13,000 feet, the pressure is 400 atmospheres. The air in the 22 by 9 foot sub would be compressed in 4 cubic feet. Well, that's some quick maths right there. So basically, the entirety of that sub would be compressed down into a space of 4 square feet. So you'd be turned into mush.
A little bit, yeah, like a thin mist, maybe.
Yeah. It'd be more like jelly or something, I think. But yeah, it would be nice.
Well, so
You know
there's, I saw a video about it. It's not just that you get converted to that kind of small; you get cooked as well. Like,
Why?
it's something to do with physics. When you get crushed that quickly in that amount of space, it goes hotter than the surface of the sun.
Okay.
So you'll be a cube of meat, and then that'll be cooked to insane degrees to the point where you'll just be a mist. Like
A cube
you're
of
gone.
meat.
Speaking of which, Super Meat Boy is a good game.
Hey, you know an interesting fact though, right? When the Titanic sank,
Mm-hmm.
they had probably like several thousand bottles of champagne on board, and they sank to the ocean floor, and they didn't pop with the pressure because they were already under pressure because of the carbonization of them, and so it was enough to stop the corks from being forced inside, and so there they lie at the bottom of the ocean to this day, still drinkable apparently.
You might even say aging to perfection.
Possibly, yeah. Well, they've been kept chilled the whole time because the temperature down there is like 1 degree Celsius or something. So yeah, I wouldn't mind having a bottle of champagne from the Titanic.
Forbidden champagne.
Yeah, it's
They
like
should make a movie about it. Like, if you drink from it, the ghosts of the ship will come.
like yeah, you pop the cork and like all these ghosts come out or something. It's like, or like 7 people had to die to get this bottle back up to the surface for you to drink, you prick. It's like, it tastes like death. I would like to try it though. It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Jano O says, "What do y'all think about?" Oh no, that's been done already. I think it's just a repeat. Britt Cormier says, "Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is the greatest Western ever made. So much of the story is told without words. Sergio just using his camera to let the audience know what is where and what's happening. No stupid one-liners during the final gunfight." Yeah, I think we discussed that one actually on the night. There's a few not one-liners, but there's a few like kind of quippy lines throughout the whole thing. There's definitely an element of humor to it, but yeah, I get what you mean. Man of the Half Hour says, Spielberg's 2011 animated Adventures of Tintin film is a pretty solid action-adventure flick. Definitely better than ND4 and 5. It was produced by Peter Jackson, along with Edgar Wright doing the screenplay. Is it that old? 2011? Wow. Jesus Christ. Captain Quark says, "Hello, Drinker. Did you know you were mentioned on the Joe Rogan episode with John Wick director Chad Stahelski?" I do know that, thank you. And last one is V's Revenge says, "Hey, Critical Drinker, love your vernacular and intelligent jokes." Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, that was the last one. So yeah, thank you very much for your lovely super chats. We appreciate it. And yeah, I guess that's all we've got for today. So what do you reckon? Should we go away now?
I'd say we go away now.
All right, go away now.